Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Ferdbird the Nerd with another video game market report with a little bit of something different at the end here. I have actually received two games from CGC grading. One is CIB. This is my flip idea of 2024 and beyond. And another one is a sealed game that I got off Whatnot, and it retails for about triple for what I paid for it, double with grading fees and stuff. So, with comic books, that's kind of my expertise. It's kind of got started on YouTube and kind of doing all this content. I've kind of used those same strategies and put them towards video games. And so at the end of the show, I'm going to show you what games I got and what they're going for, and possibly something everyone that's watching the show can take from the show, the education, the market, all that good stuff to pay for the hobby or to just make money off the hobby. I don't know whatever you want to do. But all I ask is you hit that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends about the show. I'll keep doing them until further notice. But yeah, let's get into it. So the market report for this week, I saw a little bit of dips, some new stuff here. Some of these games you may not be aware of. Some of them you may be aware of, just depending on what your age is and all that good stuff. But this is primarily, I think, for Nintendo fans, horror fans, and like just kind of hardcore gaming collectors, I would say. First off, Zelda for the Wii U. This is the Wind Walker game, or Wind Waker, I guess whatever you want to call it. I couldn't get into this game. It was just too kiddie for me. But I feel like this is something that if you can get for really cheap, for like $50, even maybe 30, I don't know. I wouldn't get the CIB. Try and get a sealed version of this. I think this may hit nostalgia kids like 5 years from now. I know it sounds like a long time, but like that's kind of where the video game market is. It hasn't popped off like comic books have, or other like sports cards. I think video games are eventually going to supersede comic books though. And this is kind of that. The Wii U is such an interesting system just because it hits so many demographics. It was a family type of console. You could get interactive with it. It actually forced you to be interactive. But $600 for the sealed console for the Wii U, and that was a recent sale from this past week. So just kind of keep your eyes out for Wii U products on Nintendo DS, those type of early 2000s, like to mid 2000 consoles. I would consider those at this point retro. So, and kind of combining one kind of category with another. This is Dementium the Ward. Now, there's another game, I believe, with this, but I wanted to specifically talk about the Nintendo DS version. This game came out in 2007 by Gamecock Media. A seal goes for $199. Reviews came out horrible for this game, but horror sells, man. I mean, and when you think of Nintendo DS, that was not catered towards adults. So I gotta think this is more collectible than like your PS2 versions, PS2 versions, your Xbox versions. This is the one to go with because a lot of people are thinking about this, but it's super creepy. It's a lower print studio, a smaller studio. There's not that many copies out there. I just gotta assume, and sealed, I mean, goes for $200. Next up, we have Touch of the Dead. This is my horror pick for kind of first to market. So when you're thinking of like, okay, Nintendo DS is going to be the next thing. Again, 5 years. It could be right now, but I think with the more kind of less known titles, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. If you can get this game for $30 and get it graded, I mean that's and get a 9.8, 9.6. I mean that's pretty good. This is going to be one of those risky first to markets though, so I wouldn't buy like 20 copies of these and expect to sell 198 for $200 and sell it all the rest of them for $200. You might sell one for 200 because it's first to market. The second one may go down to 160 and so on. But I couldn't find any CGC graded, so this is my first to market kind of play here. For $30, I don't think it's a bad risk. Play the market, see what happens. Nintendo DS is kind of my long-term play for right now. Going back to Wii U, this is another Zelda game, the Twilight Princess. I feel like this game also didn't get very great reviews. However, CIB goes for $100, so that tells you something. I mean, those were a couple sales for $100. I don't know the mechanics of this game. I didn't play it. It was just I never got a Wii U. I was more of a PS3 guy. But 350 for a 9.6 seal. So if you can find a pretty good condition sealed one for like, 150 bucks, it might be worth the gamble. I don't know. 9.6 isn't for 350 for a 9.6, that's pretty good. I don't know if this game's gonna do better than Breath of the Wild, because obviously Breath of the Wild, the first print, has already kind of overtaken this as one of the greatest Zelda games of all time, if not the greatest Zelda game of all time. So, with that said, $100 CIB, 350 for 9.6 sealed. There's opportunity in this game to make money off the hobby and maybe go upgrade to better games. Excuse me. Gregory the Horror Show Soul collection. There is a Gregory Horror Show, which goes for a little bit higher, but I want to kind of get into this collection. It's a Capcom game, right? So what I learned about this game today, so PS2, it's going to be pretty hard to find a sealed version of this, but it's an OG Japanese anime. So it's based off of anime. So you have that kind of crossover platforms, hobbies, whatever you want to call it, going into play here. And obviously with the CIB going for 191.20, or sorry, $87 for this version, the CIB in the Gregory Horror Show regular game, that goes for a lot more. $200 sealed for a PS2, that's pretty strong though. And the fact that I didn't know about this anime, I'm sure other people that are watching the show may know about this anime game, but pretty cool that they had a crossover kind of a collaboration there. And it's by a bigger publisher at Capcom, obviously. The Kuon, hopefully I'm saying that right. PS2, this is the horror game of horror games as far as collecting is concerned. I remember walking into a local retro game store back, about a decade ago, and they were talking about this game, and I was like, PS2 horror games. And it kind of popped in my mind. Oh yeah, Resident Evil was like my horror game, but this is like the cult classic of classics, right? This is your snatcher for PS2. I would say 650 for CIB. I haven't seen a single sealed version of this game. What I've read about this game in a lot of Japanese horror back from PS2 days, I think before the onset of The Ring, which is like probably the most famous Japanese horror film that I know that did so well in America, adaptations or whatever, we didn't really know a lot about Japanese horror, and it was almost like too ahead of its time. Japanese culture is like, pretty phenomenal. And I think, just with the more distribution of the stories and just like the horror, Japanese horror was really popular in the early 2000s. There are so many different movies. There's a movie with Sarah Michelle Gellar. The Ring, of course, kind of spawned off this new kind of integration of Japanese horror into American fan culture. Now you see Korean horror. So, but this is kind of like the one to get or to look for, I guess you could say. But yeah, Kuon, this is always going to be a collector's collectible, especially with horror. Good luck finding this sealed, but we'll see. And on to the next. But before I get into the next one, just want to say thanks everyone for your continued support. I'll try and keep doing these videos. I may not do as many live shows going forward, or just may eliminate them in general, just because it takes a lot of time, and we're not getting the numbers that we used to get. So I do appreciate everyone's support, though. I'll keep doing these videos if you guys like them. Trying to get those views pumped up just to make sure it's worth it. But if you can do me a favor, just hit that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. We'll see. And let's see. So this is the market portion of the show. Now we're going to get into some a little bit of market graded stuff. So first off, I want to show off my recommendation. If you can find this in a very nice grade, go for it. You want to hit certain price points though, but I was really happy with this. This is Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, complete in box. I paid about $120 for this game. When I was looking at it though, I was like, okay, there's a little bit of a crease on the front. I can deal with that. But the game itself, or the box itself, is just in amazing condition. The cartridge was okay, but 8.5 complete in box. The manual didn't grade as well. I pressed it. I guess I didn't press it very well, but I mean, this presents beautifully. I mean, just look at that. I was almost tempted to keep this, but Um, again, it's about 30 to 40 bucks for grading plus shipping. Let's take a look at what the market's showing for this particular piece here. Ocarina Time, 8.5 CGC. And, when you're looking at Nintendo 64, right? Nintendo 64, it's not a bad, it's still flippable, and it's still extremely expensive, I would say, but collectible in CIB. Right here, I mean, this guy's on 8.0. He's asking $5.99 for this. This gentleman's asking, or this person's asking $5.99 for it. I don't know. Oh, this is a sealed, so that makes sense here. 7.0. I mean, the sealed versions go for quite a bit, but we got a CIB at 8.5. So let's take a look. The last sold. So let's just do CGC CIB. Oops. So 7.0, that's sealed. Let's do highest priced, and then we'll go off the dates here. So obviously this isn't sealed, but complete in box for $750, 9.0. This one, best offer, $600, 9.0. That's sealed. $690 for a graded collector's edition Majora's Mask. I mean, that's not even graded. So this CIB partial seal. That's back in July. $499 for this collector's edition here. So I'm pretty happy with this. This is probably your best kind of comparison. $515. So I just made myself, a $300 to $400 profit, depending if I can get at least, $600 or $500 for this game. I'm super happy about that. So again, yeah, there's money to be made in this hobby, just like comic books. I mean, comic books it's a little bit easier, but I would say it's easier to get high grades in comic books versus video games. The second game I have here, this grade 9.8 out of CGC, and it's sealed. It's and I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. So Nintendo 3DS, Pokemon, Omega Ruby. These games are extremely liquid. So let's take a look at the market for this guy as well. So CGC 9.8, Pokemon Omega Ruby. Wow. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see this. Probably not. We're going to do this. So 365, I paid $40 for this game. 275. Now that's in August. So let's do a little more. It ended recently here. Okay, maybe let's go back to high. High is graded. So 267.71 for a 9.9. 9.8 went for 199. 9.4 went for 195.50. So this guy got a steal right here, or perhaps he got a little bit higher. But for me, I'm not going to this guy. I don't know what he did. That's really weird. Huh. All right. Well, anyway, what I'm gonna do with this game is I'm gonna sell it. I think I'm gonna sell it now. I don't foresee myself like missing out on like a ton of profits here. Let's take a look at this one right here. Yeah, I just don't really foresee myself. Oh, you can't see it. I don't foresee myself really losing out on a ton of profits. I mean, I paid $40 for this game. Did I say that? $40. I was looking to flip it just to see what the market showed, and I'm actually going to start both these at 10-day auctions at $1 a piece today. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. I'm pretty excited about both these games. I waited a long time. So another thing about grading games, it's taking right now about a month to 5-6 weeks. These took a week or two, a little bit longer, just because of the hurricane down in Florida. But I mean, these just present extremely beautiful. I mean, like that's just clean. Do I wait until the movie comes out? I mean, I don't know what the movie's gonna be based off of, so I'm just gonna keep going back to the well until that well is gone. But if you have questions on what I look for as far as grading is concerned, hit me up. Hit up Nemesis Prime. He's kind of like my also go-to to get information or knowledge about grading games because it is a little bit tougher than comic books, I would say. But again, if you guys enjoy the show, please let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.